Today in this video, we are going to cover the profitability analysis related questions and answers with detailed explanation. So the first question is, what tables are used to store Copa data? So there are two correct answers. Like, is it like table CE1 and operating concern and CE2 are used by costing based Copa? It is table BSEG is used by account based COPA, table AC DOCA is used by account based COPA, table COS is used by account based COPA. What tables are used to store COPA data? So table AC DOCA and table CE1 and say CE2, and so the options are A and C. A and C. Remember that in SAP S4HANA, account-based COPA data is stored directly in table AC.K, the universal journal. Costing-based COPA has its own unique tables for data storage. Each table carries the characters of the operating concern key as its last four characters. Which of the following apply to costing-based COPA? There are two correct answers even for this. So does characteristic splitting structures, value fields and cost elements. So following apply to costing based COPA. So A and C, while characteristics are utilized in both types of COPA, only costing based COPA uses value fields. Cost elements are now GL accounts in SAP S4HANA and are used in account based COPA. Splitting structures are not used in costing based COPA. They provide more details by GL account for account based COPA. So the answers options are A and C. For which characteristics does the system automatically create a derivation step? For which characteristics? Derivation rules, fixed characteristics and custom characteristics. So it is for fixed characteristics. For fixed characteristics, the system automatically create a derivation step. However, the system will also attempt to create a derivation step for any table lookup characteristic. So to which of the following can a valuation strategy be assigned? Point of valuation, a value field, record type, costing key. Point of valuation and record type. Valuation strategies are assigned to the point of valuation, for example, real time or periodic, and to record types, for example, billing or settlement document. You can also assign the valuation strategy to a plan version. Costing keys are used within a valuation strategy to determine which material cost estimate to use in a valuation, but they are not used for assignment of the strategy. So which of the following is needed to transfer data from FI directly to costing based COPA? So it is PA transfer structure. The PA transfer structure is used to assign the GL accounts from an FI posting directly to a value field in costing based COPA. Splitting structures apply only to account based COPA. When you create a planning layout, which objects can you use to define the data columns? So there are two answers, that those are like options A and B, formulas and characteristics. When you create a planning layout, formulas can be used in planning layout columns to calculate ratios or totals. Characteristics can be used in planning layouts to plan specific amounts. For example, a material group may be a lead column with a material number as a second column. Which objects are fixed characteristics for Copa in SAP S4HANA? There are three correct answers. So, which objects are fixed characteristics for Copa? So, controlling area, company code, and plant. Remember that fixed characteristics generally represents the organizational structure and master data from the posting. In this question, three characteristics are qualifying. Controlling area, company code, and plant are each organizational structures in SAP S4HANA. Which objects do you use when you assign costs and revenues to the value fields in costing based COPA? Its PA transfer structure is used to make the assignment of cost and revenue to a specific value field for use in reporting. Which of the following define an operating concern when it is created? So there are three correct answers. Which of the following define an operating concern when it is created? So when a new operating concern, you must indicate if account based or costing based COPA will be in scope. Each operating concern has its own currency settings separate from other currencies. You have defined for FICO. You must also add characteristics and value fields to the new operating concern. These elements define the data structure. So type of profitability analysis and data structure and operating concern currency. True or false? Companies can choose which type of COPA to activate. This decision is first made in the definition of the operating concern. While both types of COPA are optional, in SAP S4HANA, a best practice is to activate account-based COPA. Costing-based COPA remains an optional feature. Which of the following apply to both account-based and costing-based COPA? So it's like characteristics, table CE4, and derivation strategy. Both types of COPA use characteristics, the bywords for reporting, and both use the derivation strategy to determine the characteristics values. Table CE4 is shared by both types of COPA as a control of the profitability segment. Costing based COPA only uses a PA transfer structure and the valuation strategy. Fixed characteristics usually represent organizational structure and master data derived on a posting. Fixed usually represent organizational structure and master data derived on a posting. True. Remember that fixed characteristics are mandatory and are controlled by SAP. They are derived from each posting's organizational structure and master data. So once an operating concern has been generated, you cannot make any changes to its settings. So is this true or false? False. If changes are made to characteristics or value fields after generating the operating concern, the operating concern must be regenerated to expand the various table structures to accommodate the new characteristics or value fields. Which of the following applies to cost splitting profiles? They are used in costing based COPA. They are used to supply more costing detail to the GL. They are assigned to an operating concern. So, cost splitting profiles, they are used to supply more costing detail to the GL. Which of the following applies to cost splitting profiles? Cost splitting profiles proved more granular details by assigning cost components to GL account number and therefore are used only in account based COPA. They are assigned initially to a controlling area. They are used to supply more costing detail to the GL. Top-down distribution can be used to provide more granular planning details. Yes, true. Top-down distribution is a technique to use historical reference data to deconstruct data. Our planning example was to reference product numbers and their sales quantities from a prior year to revenue planned only at the product group level. True or false? Planning for costing based Copa is created in SAP BPC. Planning for costing based Copa is created in SAP BPC. False. In SAP S4HANA, SAP BPC is embedded and is where you will plan for account based Copa. To plan in costing based Copa, you can use transaction KEPM. For costing based Copa, SAP S4HANA provides standard reports that can be used by all customers. False. All reports for costing based Copa must be created using the report painter tool. No standard reports come pre-delivered. In SAP S4HANA, reporting apps have been standardized following SAP Fiori design principles. So for costing based Copa, SAP S4HANA provides standard that can be used by all customers. False. All reporting for costing based Copa must be created using report painter. No standard reports come pre-delivered. In SAP S4HANA, reporting apps have been standardized following SAP Fiori design principles. With this, we have covered the question and answers for profitability analysis. We will meet soon in the other video. Thank you so much for watching this.